Attention wrestling fans, you're now about to listen to the man coming down the aisle from the main streets of South Elgin, Illinois, with a microphone in his hand and questions on his mind. This is What Do You Say with DDJ.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 41 of What Do You Say with DDJ. As always, I'm your host, DDJ. A real busy week here in What Do You Say land because a very special episode, as joining me is my good friend, the American Outlaw, Tyler Bodine. He's going to talk a little bit about what he's been up to since I last ran into him in October, and also talk about the fact that he's about to become a first-time father, which will be happening the day after this initially drops. So, grab your drink, grab something to snack on, get comfy, get warm, and kick back and relax and enjoy episode 41 of What Do You Say with DDJ. And my guest this week, the American Outlaw, Tyler Bodine.
Hello, wrestling fans. Steve Barrett here, one half the commentary team of Chicagoland Championship Wrestling, also the general manager of Chicago Style Wrestling. And you are listening to What Do You Say with DDJ.
All right, we are back with another episode of What Do You Say with DDJ, and making his return to the What Do You Say with DDJ show is my very good friend and soon to be first-time father, and that is my man, the American Outlaw, Tyler Bodine. Tyler, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Well, all right, just before we start recording, I kind of told you how I was doing and stuff, but it could be a lot worse. So, and that.
Sure, I hear you. I'm glad to be back on the show, man. It's always good catching up with you and chatting with you.
Yeah, so I 100% agree, man. As I mentioned, you're about to become a first-time father here. Actually, I think the day after this episode drops, you'll be welcoming your beautiful baby girl into the world and stuff, and that. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. I want to know, since we last ran into each other in the audience at the CCW show back in October, what have you been up to?
Man, I've been traveling all over the Midwest. I practically every weekend. I've been to North Carolina. Got my feet wet in North Carolina. I've been to Kansas. I'm going to Alabama here in next month. Of course, I do a little bit of wrestling here in Illinois. I used to do all my wrestling in Illinois. Now I'm very rarely in Illinois. I'm booked every month in Missouri. All over the place, man. I mean, literally, my goal is to hit every single state, and so far I've hit every single state in the Midwest with the exception of Iowa, which on July 3rd I will be knocking Iowa off my list, and then I'll have every single state in the Midwest knocked off my list.
All right. So what has it been like for you to instead of just basically just wrestling all in Illinois? Now you got all these different states. You mentioned North Carolina, and Kansas and stuff. What is it like for you to be able to kind of get out of Illinois and go wrestle in a different state?
Oh, it's huge, man. A good friend of mine, Bob Evans, he told me, he's like, hey, man, you got to get out there and travel.
Mm-hmm.
Get your name out there as much as you can, man. That's what I do. Sometimes I travel by myself. Other times I travel with a group of guys, or my manager will go with me. We just we go have a good time. Some of the best part is just traveling, just going out there. Like when I went to North Carolina, a buddy of mine went with me, and I had never seen the Smoky Mountains a day in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And, we drove literally right by the Smoky Mountains, man. The scene was beautiful.
Right, yeah. I got to see them years ago down in Tennessee and stuff. It's about 25 years or so. This is so beautiful, man.
Yeah.
And that so So you mentioned Bob Evans. I had Bob on a few episodes ago. Just amazing guy. He had a lot of really good stories and a lot of insight and stuff. Has Bob Evans really meant to you, your career? Like, what would you say he has done for your career? Like since you've been in contact with him.
So I actually met Bob in Kansas a few, probably about a month ago now, a few weeks back, and I got to wrestle in front of Bob. He liked my work. He gave me ways to improve. Told me what he liked and what he didn't like. He definitely a very good mentor and a teacher and a good guy that I'm happy to call friend.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really enjoyed. Like I said, he had a lot of insight and stuff, and he definitely has the mind for the business.
Yeah.
So you mentioned about all the different states you wrestled in. Tell me about those promotions that you wrestled for, and like some of the guys you worked with, and what it was like.
Sure, absolutely. So when I was in Kansas, I was in an 8-man elimination match for their championship. I don't quite remember all the guys' names in that match, but it was a good match. I ended up being in the final 3. And then it took 2 guys to eliminate me, of course, because one guy's not going to eliminate me.
Nope.
When I was in North Carolina, I actually won my debut match out there. I wrestled a kid. It was one of his first matches ever. And then when I'm in Missouri every month, I'm pretty much the most hated guy there, which I love.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, things are pretty much skyrocketing. That's for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, I just been judging by all the posts I see you posting where you've gone and stuff. You've definitely been busy these last few months and stuff. So do you find yourself like with like wrestling, say in Kansas versus North Carolina, like how similar are the styles amongst all the different states? Like, are they all different? Like, what are some of the similarities and differences? I guess would be the question to ask.
A lot of the similarities is because see, when I wrestled in Kansas, I wrestled with guys that I also wrestled with in North Carolina.
Okay.
And, now obviously Kansas and North Carolina are quite a ways away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely the similarities is there's quite a bit of similarities actually, but the main one I would say is the guys that wrestle pretty much the same people from North Carolina to Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also a lot of different guys too. Some guys just wrestle strictly in the Kansas area. Some guys just wrestle strictly in the North Carolina area. Other than that, the style of wrestling is pretty much the same.
Okay. Now, do you mentioned about being the most hated man in Missouri, and you talk about kind of almost wearing it as like a badge of honor and stuff like that. I mean, do you primarily work as a heel?
Yeah, I do actually. Pretty much everywhere I go, I work as a heel. I like pissing people off. It's the highlight of my day. If I can get a death threat or an old grandma flipping me off, I know I did a good job.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of you mentioned about the old grandma flipping you off. It kind of reminds me. I think it was not long after Hollywood Hogan turned heel. He had that old lady, like I think it was on an episode of Nitro or something, like wanting to reach over and slap him or something. Is that the kind of is that what you kind of is that your ultimate like goal is to get someone wanting to reach over the barricade to slap you?
So the funny thing is, a couple shows back, I actually did have a grandma reach over and slap me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And now when I walk out of the curtains, it's literally security stands up and watches who I'm going to piss off next.
So they kind of know, they see you coming. It's like, okay, well, you know where we just gotta look out where we gotta be.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's so. What would you say? Now we're going to kind of start transitioning into, your big event coming up here and stuff like that. Now, obviously, you're going to have a little girl and stuff. What do you anticipate in terms of like, obviously everybody knows who becomes a kid parent for the first time. It's that thing that like your life will never be the same again and stuff. But like, I mean, when did you realize, like, you know, that obviously, you know, when you were going to become a dad and stuff and you're a wrestler, I mean, when did it kind of enter your mind that like, how am I going to explain all this to my daughter? Like, has that even come into your mind yet?
It really hasn't, honestly. No, it's just I've made the decision that my daughter's going to grow up in the business. As soon as my fiance is done recovering from her C-section, her and our daughter are actually going to go on the road. So she's going to kind of grow up in the business before she can even say one word. She's going to be at her first wrestling show, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's something. My son just turned 6, and I cannot wait. He still has yet to go to his first wrestling show and stuff, especially with everything going on right now with COVID and stuff. My wife's a little extra, which I understand and stuff, but I can't wait for that time to finally bring him to his first show and stuff. But yeah, so when I found out that I was going to be a dad, like, I literally, my wife, you know, brought the test in, showed it to me. I sat on the couch with my jaw dropped and was probably frozen in that state for like about 5 minutes or so, at least. I always say it was about 5 minutes or so. So I got to ask you, when your fiance came to you and said, you know what, I'm pregnant, you're going to be a dad, what was your reaction like?
So she never thought she was pregnant because she had told me, you know, hey, you know, I haven't had my period in this amount of time. I'm like, well, you know, maybe you go get a test, maybe you go. And she's like, no, I'm not pregnant. So I actually went and bought the test and made her take it. And she did it one morning, and I was sound asleep. I think I might have had a show that the day before. So I was sawing logs. I was sound asleep, and she was yelling for me, and I didn't hear her. The dog actually came and licked my face, and that's how I woke up. And then she showed me the test, and I was overjoyed. I mean, I was definitely shocked. No doubt about it. But yeah, I was just overjoyed. I'm still overjoyed. I think it's starting to hit me more than when I first found out she was pregnant.
Yeah. I know with my son, you know, as you know, we would go to the appointments, and as he would get bigger and as he would get bigger inside her, it's just like, you know, as he got closer and closer, it's like it kind of really sets in. But I mean, I know again we mentioned that your daughter's going to be joining the world here, and the day after this episode drops, because this will be dropping on Monday the 17th. So she's going to be May 18th, which you did say is also your fiance's birthday, correct?
Absolutely, May 18th. Yep.
And that's so little funny story here. When we knew that my son was going to be coming around my birthday, my wife and she still likes to use this joke to me. She's like, if he's born on your birthday, I'm never buying you another birthday present again, because this is your ultimate birthday present. Have you tried to use that card on your fiance?
No, I haven't. I actually wanted the C-section to either be on the 17th or the 19th, so Brenna could have her own birthday. But unfortunately, our doctor doesn't do C-sections those days. So it'll just be a double birthday, and my fiance is super excited for her to be born on her birthday. So it's definitely going to be a good birthday gift for sure.
Yes. And that's I remember that and stuff. But one of just the excitement and stuff, and it's kind of nice because, much like you said, it ended up working out because my son has his own day, I have my own day, but it's close enough that we can kind of celebrate them together and stuff. So
sure, absolutely.
So now, is your ultimate goal with your daughter? Is it for her to possibly get into the business?
Yes. A lot of dads don't want their daughter in the business, but I want her to be able to experience what I'm experiencing and the love for this business. So yes, eventually. I mean, as soon as she can walk, she's going to be in a wrestling ring.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, when you first met your fiance, what was her reaction to when you told her what you do for a living? How did she take the fact that she's dating a professional wrestler?
So she kind of knew already because we actually met on a dating site, and the first thing I put was, "Hey, I do professional wrestling." Because I mean, if you can't live with the fact that I do professional wrestling, it's just not going to work out. Because I'm not giving up wrestling for nobody. But she thought it was really cool. Yes, she took it pretty well, and she loves going to the shows. Her first show actually was I took her to it with me in Michigan. Was her first show, and it was an outside show. And it poured down rain. It poured down rain, and we actually wrestled in pouring down rain. But yeah, no, she really enjoys it, and the joke now is that our daughter's going to be already a little wrestler in training because she's been kicking her quite a bit. And earlier today, we had to go for the last baby appointment before the C-section, and they put those little round things on her stomach to check her heart rate. Well, Brenna absolutely hates those and literally tries to kick them off.
Oh boy!
Yeah, so she's a little wrestling in training.
Yeah. So when mentioned the fact that she's going to be getting into the business, is there anybody like in terms of that's currently out there, be it on one of the the main organizations, WWE, AEW, or is there anybody out there who, like, if you could tell your daughter and say, this is who I would want you to emulate your style after, or kind of model yourself after, who would it be and why?
That's a tough one. I would say probably man, that's hard because there's so many good female athletes. I'm a big fan of Toni Storm, and I like what she brings to the table. And I would try to, tell Brenda, hey, watch her match, see what she does, because she's a badass, basically.
She is.
That's what I like, and my daughter's going to be straight up badass. she can have her girly girl moments, but she's not gonna pull no punches.
Now, if she, obviously you love being a heel, but if she comes to you and says, "Daddy, I want the people to like me. I want to be a baby face," what do you?
That's fine. Yeah, I mean, my first 4 or 5 years of my career I was a baby face. Everybody loved me. But the moment I turned heel, everybody hated me, and I've been hated ever since. I never forget the first time I worked heel was in Wisconsin. I go in the locker room. The promoter's like, "Hey, I need you to be heel tonight." And I had never been heel a day in my life. I'm like, "All right." So I just went out, and the rest is history. I love being a heel, man. It's so much fun to piss people off.
So I take it you enjoy working as a heel more so than a baby face?
Yes, most definitely. Absolutely.
Gotcha. So, but now I mentioned before, I ran into you at the CCW show. We met. You were sitting in the audience and stuff like that. Is there any inklings or any discussions or rumblings of you possibly going to work for John Bullard here in the near future?
I can't really give too much away. I can't really say too much.
Fair enough.
I can't really say too much on that.
Okay. All right. I can respect that. So sorry, my son and would just walk by in front of me.
Oh,
and
you're
wait.
good.
I was a little distracted there,
You're
but
good.
no, so I like the fact that you're going to bring your daughter up to to be in the business and stuff. Now, was fatherhood something that you've always wanted, or is it kind of one of those
Yeah.
things? Okay, and
Yeah,
that's
definitely. I've always wanted to be a dad since the day I was born. Growing up, I always wanted to be a dad. This was definitely an accident. We weren't necessarily trying to have kids, but it happened. I'm super excited to be a dad, and I'm definitely going to be the best dad I can be for sure.
That's awesome, yeah, because she's gonna need someone to once she gets older, she's gonna need someone to fend off them boys, and who better than the American Outlaw?
Plus, she's got a lot of badass uncles too.
Oh man, so she's got a whole crew there that's
Yeah.
gonna back her up and stuff. She's in good hands there.
Oh yeah.
So I gotta ask. Obviously, you mentioned your fiance got met you through a dating site, and really enjoyed you watching you work and stuff like that. Has she ever expressed to you any desire about getting a little bit more involved?
No, and I wouldn't want her to.
Mm-hmm.
I have bad experiences with exes getting involved in the business, and it don't turn out well. So I would not want her to get involved in the business.
Sure. Gotcha. And that's one of the things I want to go back to with your mention with your travels and stuff. Since you've been getting out more, is you mentioned you sometimes travel solo and sometimes you travel with a group or something like that. Do you have a preference? Do you like to travel alone? Do you like to travel with a group, or do you like to travel with a group?
I hate traveling alone, to be honest with you.
Okay.
It's I prefer. I mean, even if it's just one other person, just somebody to talk to. I mean, granted, I listen to my music when I travel alone, and I'm sick. Nobody can judge me, and I think I'm on American Idol. But no, I would much rather travel with somebody or with a group of people, because it makes the road trips more fun too than if you're
right. And you mentioned about traveling with people makes it more fun and stuff. Without peeling back the curtain too much, what is a typical road trip like with say when you go out on the road with one other person, two, just a small group? Like, what is a typical travel session like with a group?
It really all depends who you're with. I traveled many miles with a guy by the name of the Wild Man Beast.
Okay.
He's a legend in the indie wrestling scene. He was in WCW. Him, myself, and my manager, Mr. John Park. We've traveled many miles together, and the stories that he can tell is I just sit and listen. So it really all depends who you travel with. Like when it's just me and my manager John, we talk about what. We brainstorm different ideas to, what we're gonna do at the show and whatnot. And then when we got Beast with us, we do a lot of road stories, because obviously Beast has been in the business for over 30 years.
Wow. He's
got stories upon stories, and hearing some of the stories from when he was in WCW is amazing. Because I sit and listen, take it. Basically, I'm like a sponge. I take everything in.
Gotcha. So who was the Beast? Who did he wrestle as in WCW?
Hubert Simpson.
Okay. I'll have to go back and look in that, because I'll be honest, the name doesn't ring a bell and stuff. So I'll have to.
He was. So he wasn't one of the main guys in WCW. He was more or less a jobber, what they would call
the enhancement talent.
Yeah. But he was very respected by the boys, and a lot of them are still his friends today.
Wow, that's cool. So, do you have any good stories from him that you can share, like a good one or something?
Unfortunately, without his permission, I'd rather not. Out of respect for him.
Understandable. That's but So what are some of the because you hear about all these stories about like wrestling families, like when dads are out on the road and things like that, how sometimes that's I'm trying to think of the right way of saying this. The family life back home isn't ideal and stuff like that. Is this something like what's something that you like hope to do so like to prevent like your situation to be kind of come similar to something like that? Like what is your main goal like when you're out on the road? Like what do you intend on doing to kind of keep that family dynamic still going even when you're out on the road?
I always check in.
Mm-hmm.
When I get to the hotel, I check in. But like I said, though, my family will be traveling with me probably 95% of the time. So I'll still have that family dynamic with me. But obviously, when they're not with me, I'll call back. Video chat's a wonderful thing.
Yes, they are.
So,
That's very cool. That's very cool. So how much time? When is your or did you just recently wrestled show? Is this your? Are you doing any more shows before the birth of your daughter, or are you?
Yeah, I got one more show coming up this Sunday.
Okay.
Literally 10 minutes from my house for Powerhouse Wrestling Extreme. I'm wrestling a guy by the name of Fabian Barbosa. He was trained by Seth Rollins. Him and I actually used to be a tag team, and then he turned his back on me at the last show. So now we got a grudge match coming up.
Ooh, well, you're one of those guys where I'm glad I'm on your good side rather than your bad side. Because you seem like the kind of guy that you don't want to get on the bad side of. So this should be. It should be. I think you're gonna bring some pain at the show, right?
He better say his prayers and take his vitamins, because as Stone Cold would say, he's about to get a good old fashioned ass whooping.
Stomp the old mud hole and walk it. Stomp him into a mud hole and walk it dry.
Exactly. Yep.
Gotcha. So now, how much time are you planning on taking off once your daughter's born?
About a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now is that from your 9-to-5 job as well too, or
9-to-5 job? I'm only taking a couple weeks.
Okay, but you're just staying
local. I work from home mostly from a 9-to-5 job, so I'll still be home. But when I work in child welfare, and it's really hard to take time off because child welfare never stops. There's always issues, and I even feel bad about taking 2 weeks off because I know I'm going to come back to a mud pile, and I'm going to have to figure it out and get it fixed.
So I got to ask you, because you mentioned your 9-to-5 job, you work in child welfare. I love some of the stories you share and stuff like that. It's so nice to see. How are you able to have a 9-to-5 job that's responsible for doing so much good and bringing families together, that kind of thing. But yet your other job, as a professional wrestler, it's almost like you're doing the exact opposite. Like one end of the stick, you're this really good guy. Like you're like the uber baby face in your 9-to-5 job. But then you do your wrestling career, you're like, the heel. How are you able to kind of to balance that? Because you always hear these stories about some people out there have trouble, like they live their gimmick and stuff like that. How easy is it for you to switch from one thing to the other?
It's actually not too difficult at all. It's just like a switch, man. I can turn it on and off.
Right.
When I go through that curtain, I turn that switch on and I turn that son of a gun all the way up, and it's balls to the wall. I'm ready to rock and roll. But as soon as I go back through that curtain, I turn that switch off. Now, when I go to the merchandise table, I turn that switch back on. And then obviously when I'm doing my 9-to-5 job, a lot of the people that I work with know that I do professional wrestling.
Okay.
And I've invited them, hey, check out my YouTube page, So a lot of them are aware that actually probably all of them are aware that I do professional wrestling because that's something that I share with them. It's a good conversation starter.
Right.
And my work thinks it's really cool that I do professional wrestling, and I'm able to balance both my shoot job, being a child welfare caseworker, and my other job as a professional wrestler. And both jobs help me provide for my family. So, I mean, I'm living good right now, man. Definitely.
That's awesome. Yeah, just because, like I said, I've seen what you post, and it's some really good stuff. So, a couple more things here, and then we'll start wrapping it up. So, when is your first show after your little break, the sabbatical that you're taking?
It's towards the end of June.
Okay.
Yeah, about the middle towards the end of June. And that's before I'm doing a benefit. Ever heard of the guy by the name of Mississippi Madman?
I think I've heard of him because I know he just recently passed away, correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna be on a benefit show for him, and that'll be my show back, basically.
Awesome, and we'll definitely give you a chance to talk about that here at the end, because I'm going to give you a chance to plug, your upcoming shows and merch and stuff like that. Last question I can think of here. How soon are you looking to go to a wrestling show in terms of just being there as a fan? Like, are you going to be going to any shows just to watch before you make your return, or is you're not having anything to do with wrestling until that benefit show?
No, I'll probably watch it on TV when I'm in the hospital and whatnot. I'm not gonna lie, I record NXT, Raw, AEW, and SmackDown. I watch it. I couldn't tell you the last time I watched it live because I'm either working or doing something with wrestling or with my fiance. So I record it and then I watch it the next day. So I definitely still watch it, but physically going to a show, I won't until I make my return.
Gotcha. So that means I won't see you then in June at Michigan City for the CCW show then.
No, unfortunately not. And I would love to say that I'm going to be on that show. I'm not, but hopefully down the road you'll be seeing Tyler Bodine in Chicagoland Championship Wrestling. John's a great guy. He's got a good product, and I would love to be able to work for him someday. So there's a good possibility you may see me down the road in CCW.
I hope so, man, because like I said, I really enjoyed talking to you, at the last show and stuff. And you mentioned John Bullard. John's been somewhat of a little bit of a regular fixture on my show the last few weeks because we've been doing a new little segment or new little show style called Did They Get It Right, where we kind of look back, just after last week, we looked back at NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, and then a couple weeks prior, we reviewed WrestleMania. What did you think about WrestleMania and NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver overall? Or did you? I'm assuming you watched both those, correct?
I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't watch either of them.
Wow. Well,
and that's not being ignorant or arrogant. I just sometimes
you're busy.
I'm busy, and sometimes it's just so my style of wrestling is very old school.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling nowadays on TV is the farthest thing from old school there is.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Max Harwood and Cash Wheeler, FTR from.
Yeah. Okay.
Those two guys remind me a lot of Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson.
Yeah, oh yeah, I 100% agree with you there.
I love watching those guys because they're old school. I don't really watch a whole lot of pay-per-views, I guess.
Okay.
I do. I record all the shows, and if I have time, I'll watch them. If not, I'll just delete them and not worry about it. It doesn't break my heart.
Right.
And a lot of it has to do with just the change of the wrestling world nowadays. It's not what it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that, unfortunately, was just the nature of the beast. They can't. I love the Attitude Era. Nowadays, there'd be so many people that would complain and cry and whine. Oh, he said this. He said, and it just wouldn't work.
100% agree with you. Attitude Era, back when it happened, was an amazing time. But yeah, there's no way that it could fly there. It would fly in this day and age, especially and stuff like that. But before I give you a chance to promote like upcoming shows and merch and stuff like that, you mentioned FTR as someone that you're fancy yourself to be a fan of stuff. Is there anybody else like in the current product that you're a fan of?
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of Bobby Lashley.
Okay.
That guy is built like a tank.
Yes, he is.
And I'm glad to see that he's getting a run as champion. It should have happened his first time around in WWE.
Right.
But I'm glad to see that he's finally getting a run. And Drew McIntyre, I was glad to see him finally get a run too. Those two guys, they should. I mean, granted, I don't necessarily think Drew should have got a championship run when he was first in the company, but I was glad to see they put the title on him when he came back. But Bobby Lashley, though, I like his tenacity. Braun Strowman, I mean, that guy, he's another guy that I really like. I just wish they would have kept the Universal title on him a lot longer than what he did.
Right.
But between those three gentlemen, those three would definitely be my top in WWE. Really any old school tag teams that I would think of in the WWE. FTR, in my opinion, is the greatest tag team in professional wrestling today when it comes to old school wrestling. There's no question. Nobody can be at the top of them.
Right. So, alrighty, my man. Before I let you go, This is your chance to promote any and all upcoming shows you have, and then how people can reach out to you, and then where they can buy your awesome merch, such as this really cool American Outlaw shirt that I happen to be wearing right now. So
absolutely, and I appreciate your support, man. It means a lot to me. The next show that I have is actually this Sunday in Cedar Point, Illinois, for Powerhouse Wrestling Extreme. It's actually at a called the Gunsmoke Grill, and not only is we're gonna have a wrestling show, but they also have horseback riding. They have a petting zoo for the kids. So it's really a family-friendly event. Bring your kids out. It's going to be a good time. And then, obviously, I'll be taking some time off to be with my fiance Jen, and our newborn, Brenna. Then once I get back, I'm going to be doing a benefit show for a good friend of mine that unfortunately passed away, Mississippi Madman, who's larger-than-life guy. One of the nicest guys you'd ever want to meet. He'd give his back for you. And then that's a Saturday. And then that Sunday, I'm actually back with Powerhouse Wrestling Extreme at the Gunsmoke Grill again. So, if you can't make it to this show this Sunday, June, let me check. I got so many dates.
You're good, man. I know you're a busy man, and you're about to even be busier.
I am, man. So June 13th is the next show at the Gunsmoke Grill after this weekend. So, if you can't make it out this weekend, make it out on June 13th. If you want to get a hold of me, I'm on Facebook, Tyler Bodine. I'm on Instagram, Twitter. The shirt that you're wearing, inbox me. Unfortunately, I'm all out of adult sizes, but I have a lot of kid sizes. I was hoping, which my last batch, I sold more kid sizes than adult sizes, but this time I sold all adult sizes. So I have literally white and black from youth small up to youth large. And obviously they're unisex, so your little girl can wear it, your little boy can wear it. They're $20 a piece or 2 for $30. I have coloring books for the kids. I have stickers, little wrestling figures. I have wrestling belts for the kids. Just hit me up if you're wanting any merchandise. I'll gladly help you. And always when I ship for free. The reason I know a lot of people charge for shipping, nothing against them, but when I always pay for the shipping as a thank you for people showing their support towards me. So I hope to continue to get you guys support and hopefully see you guys at some shows.
Well, I'm always going to be a supporter of you, man, because you've taken time out of your day, and I know things are probably really hectic for you right now, but I really appreciate taking little bit of time out of your day to have this little chat with me and stuff. And before I let you go, I just want to again say congratulations, to you and your lovely fiance. Best of luck to you, man. Because the one thing I'm going to tell you, man, is that just you're gonna be all the stuff going on, and it's gonna be hectic these last couple of days. But that first moment when you lay your eyes on that little girl of yours, man, there ain't gonna be nothing like it. Because I mean, the greatest moment of my life was the first time I laid eyes on my son. So I can't wait. I can't wait for you to have that same experience that I had a little over 6 years ago, man. And best of luck to you, man. Best of luck to you guys.
Thank you. I'm gonna be smiling ear to ear.
You've been smiling from ear to ear like for the past few months, documenting, your journey, with all the shows you've been doing, everything's going on with the, the pregnancy and stuff. And I love it, man, because like I said, you're a good dude, man, and I always love it when good things happen to good people, man.
I appreciate that, man. Seriously, thank you.
Anytime, buddy. So once again, this is the American Outlaw Tyler Bodine, soon to be the American Outlaw father, or I don't know if you're gonna incorporate that or whatever, but man, you and your girl are gonna make some awesome parents, man, and your little girl's already very lucky to have you two, man.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I look forward to it. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me on the show. I really do appreciate it.
Anytime, buddy. You will again. Best of luck with all your shows, and most importantly, man, best of luck with. I can't wait to see the pictures of that beautiful little girl, man.
There's going to be a lot of them, man.
I'm sure there was, because I did the same thing, so I know what it's like. So I would be upset if I didn't see a lot of pictures. So
sure.
All right, man. Thanks again for hopping on. Have a good one.
Thanks, you too, man. Take care.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Pro Wrestling Sensation All Day, Marshall Rocket, and you are listening to What Do You Say with DDJ All Day.
Thank you, Tyler, for stopping by to talk with me. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope my fans listening to this enjoyed the show as much as I did. Once again, congratulations to you and your beautiful fiance, Jen, as you are about to give birth to what I'm sure will be a beautiful baby girl. Her name is Brenna. Nothing but love from me here at What Do You Say with DDJ. I look forward to seeing you hopefully in the crowd at our, at the next CCW show, maybe in August or somewhere down the line. Looking forward to meeting your fiance and also your little girl. If you want to check out Tyler in action, he's got a few dates coming up here. He'll be in action on June 12th in Springfield, Illinois, a memorial show for legendary independent wrestler, the Mississippi Madman. He'll be also in action on June 13th for PWX. That's in Cedar Point, Illinois. June 19th, he'll be wrestling for IEW. June 26th, he'll be wrestling for New Breed in Sedalia, Missouri. For July 3rd, he'll be at LMFP in Earlham, Iowa. July 10th, he'll be in Sandwich, Illinois for PWX. For July 17th, wrestling for Cure in Springfield, Illinois. He has the PWX show Picnic at Jimmy's on July 24th. He'll be in action in Hazel Green, Alabama on July 30th for the AIWF. And he'll be in action on July 31st for UCW in Rockford, Illinois. So Tyler's going to be a very busy man. He's going to enjoy some time with his fiance and his little girl, and then he's going to be back on the road sooner than you think. If you want to get in contact with him to buy his merch, just reach out to him on Facebook. You can find him under, I believe it's Tyler Bodine Marchang. And very much a good guy, and I wish him nothing but the best as he enters the world of fatherhood. As always, be sure to go to prowrestlingtees.com/prowrestlingjunkies to get yourself a What Do You Say with DDJ shirt, as well as one of the many other awesome shirts you can find in the Pro Wrestling Junkie store, including the Junkyard shirt, including Steve's 3, including Mexican Meltzer, including the Pro Wrestling Junkies logo, the I Was on a Markout shirt. There's tons of great shirts on there. Buy one and support your favorite Pro Wrestling Junkies Pod Squad podcast. Well, that's all the time I have this week. Tune in next week for another episode of What Do You Say with DDJ. Thanks for listening, everyone.
If you love professional wrestling and great podcasts, check out What Do You Say with DDJ on Facebook, Twitter, and also on ProWrestlingTees.com. In the search field, just type in DDJ and buy the best professional wrestling podcast shirt around.